everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. The fact that you are willing to sacrifice a few minutes out of your day to consume my content really does mean the world to me. Firstly, two things: lighting setup, and then the fact that I'm having to basically whisper. It is literally the middle of the night. I don't want to wake up my wife. But also the lighting setup is a bit of a mess up right now. I just recently got a new job, but we're busy building up that department, and as a result I'm having to use a lot of my own equipment, and I've just been rushing around a lot, and I kind of left my lights at the office. So I'm pretty much just filming this off my ring light, so if the lighting is a little bit off, I do apologize. But today we're going to be talking about The Brave Ones, which is a new South African Netflix property which I've been incredibly excited about ever since I saw it being announced at What's Next Africa a few months ago. And I just have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. South African movie makers have been firing on all fronts recently on Netflix. I mean, recently we just had Justice Served. Before that we had Collision. Both of those were great films that tackled some incredibly deep themes. This series, however, feels like it's definitely pursuing much more of the mainstream narrative at the moment. And what I mean by that is individuals with superhero powers and superhuman abilities. What this show did well though was put its own unique South African twist onto it. And ultimately the rough breakdown for the story is that there is a goddess being reincarnated into the body of a young woman, and her goal is to avenge the death of her sister. Incredibly simple story, but the unique South African elements that we don't really see explored much in other properties are prominent in this film. The lead actress was fantastic. She's an incredibly humble actress. When I saw her at What's Next Africa, the speech that she gave was incredibly moving, incredibly powerful. But her performance on screen was just, she's a powerhouse. And she's just great. She's incredibly charismatic. My wife loved her. She watched a few episodes with me, and she thought she was one of the cutest things she'd ever seen. So we've got some amazing acting ability coming from our protagonist. And the story is incredibly emotional, and she's really able to give her all and give an engaging, powerful performance. The show is also backed up by some beautiful locations that the show is filmed in. Of course, it's filmed here in South Africa. Some of the standout moments to me was there is a building in Janssens. It's one of my favorite buildings. It looks just like a PlayStation 5. And if you know which building I'm talking about, you can't miss it. But they actually use a lot of that building quite a bit as reference for in the show. So that was incredibly exciting. There's just a lot of locations where you recognize everything as a South African. You recognize where specific things were shot. And that's always great. I mean, it's nice to watch something that's filmed in your own country. You get that feeling of just being home. And that's great. I'm assuming Americans feel that way all the time when they're busy watching their own movies. But it's great to start feeling that a lot more with all the South African releases we've been getting recently. In regards to the pacing, that's probably the biggest issue I have with this show. After a few episodes, I was still just waiting for everything to start going, to get moving. And while the plot is always developing, it's probably just not developing at the speed at which I would have preferred. But this is a story that also needs to take its time. It's a heavy emotional series, and there's some serious emotionally traumatic moments that need to be addressed and given time to breathe. And so I don't necessarily mind the pacing that much, but if you're someone that wants to get a move on and just keep going, it can be a little bit of a sludge to get through some of the slower parts of the episodes. All in all, I think this is a great series. You're going to have to watch this with subtitles though. This series is spoken predominantly in African languages. There is a little bit of English in there, but unless you are multilingual, you're going to have to watch this with subtitles. But we've watched, there've been tons of international releases recently where people have been forced to watch with subtitles. Squid Game is one of them. No one had a problem watching Squid Games and reading subtitles. So hopefully international audiences will also, put their frustration of reading subtitles to the side and just watch the show, because it is great. It puts, much like Justice Served, it kind of just proves that we as South Africans can make high quality productions. But guys, thank you so much for watching this review. I'm sorry about the lighting. I'm sorry about me being a little bit more reserved. Again, I don't want to wake up my wife. But guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. You are the best. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you again in another review.